Are you a short motorcycle rider? Do you want to get some valuable advice from an actual short rider? Well, stay tuned while I interview the shortest motorcycle rider that I know. What up, fam? This is Rogue Rider, your up on one host for everything motorcycle. Welcome back to the channel where we discuss anything and everything about riding and other motorcycle related topics. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on the next video. Going to talk about being a short motorcycle rider and the things that you can do to be a little bit more comfortable and a little bit more confident when you do ride your motorcycle. In the studio with me today, we have Chonny. Chonny is an absolute legend and personally one of the riders that I actually look up to. Chonny has been riding for over 5 years now on multiple different motorcycles. He rides every single day, rain, hail, or shine. He is also the shortest motorcycle rider I know at 4'11", making him the perfect subject matter expert for this topic. Let's get started. So today I have Chonny.
What's up, guys? Hey.
Say hello, Chonny. Say hello to the camera over there. Say hello to your groupies, your fans. So Chonny here is, like I said, he's 4'11", and he's the very definition of a short rider. I myself, I'm quite short. I'm about 5'6", and I also have problems on the bike trying to ride, especially on a super sports bike, 1000cc. So hopefully Chonny here is going to give some tips and tricks, advice to help you be a better rider. So Chonny, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm short.
You're short. You want to stand up? You want to stand up, show people how short you are.
Are you gonna give a comparison? Come on.
Alright, so I'm 5'6", and Chonny here, man, this guy is a legend. A legend. If you think you're short, you got nothing on this guy. What inspired you to ride in the first place?
Oh, I won't go too into depth because I don't want that on camera. But basically, it got recently got out of something, and I noticed my days. It just felt like, you know, it's like I just floated, like no, like. It felt like I was dead, if that makes sense.
Right. So,
because I was so used to, like every single day being a risk or something could go so horribly wrong. And once I got out of that chapter in my life, like I realized, like I as wrong as it was, I missed that. And I used to do a lot of like physically dumb stuff when I was younger, and then I wanted like to bring that back as well. And I just came to me like a motorbike.
Right.
Yeah. And then once like I was at that point, like it's a bit dark to say, but I don't care, you know, like I was in a stage like I didn't really care if I died or not. And so like everyone's saying all these things at death machines and all that, and so I'm thinking, well, if I'm gonna go, I may as well do something fun. And so I got a motorbike, but the first time I rid one during the test, I'm like, look, this is something else.
It's something else. So you were pretty much in a dark place, and you found riding a motorcycle therapeutic.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's like the one thing I was thinking was gonna kill me, brought me back to life.
Right.
It's very cliche, but that's what it is.
It is very freeing being on a motorcycle, isn't it? It's I remember the first time I was on this. Amazing, man. It was like I was on a 98 R1, and back in those days where I learned no helmets, no jackets, you know, first time ever on a bike, just you'll see you later, it's gone. Next minute I'm doing like 300 Ks. I'm like, oh my god, this is so great.
I don't believe it. I didn't care if it was raining or sunshine, hailing, storms, whatever. Just wanted to get out there, you know.
Right.
It's the most addictive thing I've ever come across in my life.
Cool. And you prefer your naked bikes, don't you? Your street fighters, your naked bikes.
Weight reduction.
Yeah, weight reduction. And what is that? Is that just due to wheelies?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. When was the first time you tried a wheelie?
On the Ninja 300, about 7 months after I started riding. Like, I remember when I got into before I started riding, like obviously looking at a lot of videos, and I remember watching like Ride at the Century, and like thinking one day I'm going to do that.
Right.
And then I remember the first time I tried to do a wheelie, I'm like, here we go. the front wheel didn't even come off, the bike jerked. I'm like, fuck this is not for me. And I decided I'm not gonna do wheelies, but then it stuck in my head, like I have to learn how to do this.
Right.
And it took me 7 months before I finally got it like up near balance point.
Right.
Yeah.
So tell me, what are you riding now?
MT-07.
MT-07. Why an MT-07?
Ever since I heard like they're the wheelie machine, it's just what I've been wanting for like years since I heard that.
And is it a wheelie machine, bro?
Oh fuck yeah!
Yeah.
Come up in fourth gear.
Fourth gear. Nice.
Like, everyone bags them, but I don't care. Have fun on it. You know?
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
So how long have you been riding?
I'd say nearly between 4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years? Go through the timeline of the bikes that you've had and your experience.
Well, the first bike I had was an Ninja 300. I stacked that thing so many times I lost count. Then it got destroyed and I got another 300. That one got, what happened? I think I lost my license and so I parted that one out so I wouldn't be tempted to ride it. And then I got a Ninja 400, had a massive crash on that at 160 kilometers an hour. That one's the first accident that put me in the hospital.
Ooh.
And then after that I got the CB 500F.
Yeah.
Lost my license for 3 months. When I got my license back, sold that and got the MT-07.
Got you. And out of all the bikes, like, which one was better suited for your height?
I can't really answer that. Like it all, because when you hop on a bike for the first time, like in my experience, you feel so uncomfortable, but then you ride it more and then you just feel like at one with it. Like it's normal.
Right.
So it just comes down to if you're willing to get used to it, you will.
Okay. So when you started riding, like being as short as you are, what was the hurdles that you had to overcome?
Just that when I first started, like, and I first swung my leg over a bike, like during the test and everything, like I thought, like, you know, this would be so much easier if I was a bit taller and I could put both feet on the ground every time.
Yeah.
That was the biggest struggle, but as time went on, like I just kept mentally saying to myself, you know, it is what it is. It's doable.
Right.
And then once you accept that, then it's smooth flowing.
Mm-hmm.
It's still tricky, obviously, because you're learning something new, but there comes a point where it just becomes second nature.
Okay. And when you were starting off, like, did you do any research about, you know, any being a short rider and how to ride and like anything to do if you're a short rider?
Yeah, you do a lot of stuff. Like a lot of people say you can get the bikes lowered.
Yep.
Or like how videos of people like using one foot and then shifting the weight and using their other foot to put on the floor.
Yep.
Like stuff like that. But you know, it's really different when you're watching something than you have to go out and do it.
Right.
But like, as like a lot of other riders do before they start riding, like as you just told me before, you know, you research like how to operate a bike and all that stuff. So I think it's pretty normal. The only difference is you're trying to, in regards to height, you're trying to figure out how to ride a bike in that sense.
Right. So did you, like, for example, lower your suspension?
I only lowered the suspension on the Ninja 300s.
Okay.
And the 400, I got the seat cut. I'd recommend more getting a seat cut than getting the bike lowered, because when you lower a bike, it really changes the whole handling of a bike.
Right. So there's this debate whether, like, if you lower a bike, it's going to screw up the geometry and, you know, the aerodynamics and the way you lean and things like that, right? And the control of the bike. So you're saying that lowering a bike, you found that it did sort of alter.
Yeah, it did, but that's the thing, you know, because I probably haven't had to have lowered the 300, but because it was the first bike, I felt more comfortable if I did lower it.
Yeah.
Unless you lower the bike before you even ride it, you're not going to really notice any difference. But obviously, you're not going to get the full benefits of that bike because it was set up like that for a reason.
Right. Lowering the bike may alter the way it handles. How about, you said cutting the seat, right? Mm-hmm. So what do you do there?
You just take it to a shop. Like if you're buying it from a dealership, ask them, can you get the seat cut for me before I pick it up? So usually they'll take about 1 inch out.
Okay.
And like, it doesn't sound like a lot, but it makes a massive difference.
Yeah. And how about like platform shoes or anything like that?
Steel cap boots.
Steel cap boots?
Yeah, I used to wear them all the time because they've got the thickest soles that don't make you look too ridiculous. But then I just started wearing normal shoes because I've gotten too used to it.
Right. So when you get on the bike, what is your biggest like problem being short as you are?
I'd say the biggest problem is stopping at lights.
Okay.
There's always that feeling of like it's obviously minimized a lot because I've ridden for a few years, but the biggest feeling was like I'm gonna drop the bike because I can only get one foot down and not even the whole foot. I can only put like my toes down.
Right, and it's quite unstable, right?
Yeah, but you get, as I said, you get used to it.
Right.
But I realize that's all you really need. Like if you're short, you just need to be able to get your toes down on the ground every single time. Just look out for potholes. Be aware if you're on a slant or whatever.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it.
Okay, and like for me, for example, when I'm on my R1, like I'm doing the same thing, right? I'm on the tippy toes, and it's quite unstable. And then like especially around our area, it gets really windy, right? Mm-hmm. And you're sitting there at the lights, and you're getting blown around by the wind, and you're like, I don't know if I'm gonna drop this.
That's the worst.
So, is there any way you like sort of overcome that? Like, what's the best advice that you can give when you're at the stoplights waiting for it to go green?
I wouldn't say there's good advice. I'm probably going to give you the worst advice and say you just have to go through it.
You just go through the red lights, cruise.
No.
Screw stopping. Just keep going, bro.
Yeah, I don't even that.
Just don't stop, guys. Just keep going.
And I remember the first time I got my bike, I went for a ride. It was the first time I got stuck at the lights where the light would not turn green because the bike wouldn't set off the sensor. And I was stuck there for like 10 minutes. And like I could just feel all this pain in my leg because I can only put the weight on one leg.
Right.
And so I just went through the light, made sure there was no cars. But I realized the more you do that, the more like muscle you're gonna build up in your leg for those situations.
Okay. So you're saying over time your body will adapt anyway towards
absolutely.
it, right?
Yeah.
So it's like it doesn't really matter whether you're short or not. You still get on a bike, and over time the experience is just going to let you ride that bike the way you want to ride it.
Yeah.
So you shouldn't feel that you are like limited to certain bikes. Like if you're short, don't just get a Grom.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
No.
Get the bike that you want to get, right? Because no matter what it is, over time you're going to gain the skills and the experience needed to ride the bike anyway. And then being short is only going to be an afterthought.
Yeah.
Right.
I'd say one benefit of being short as well is you're gonna learn how to ride that bike without putting your feet down as much as possible, especially in low speed situations.
Right. How did you sort of like gain your confidence to ride like the way you ride?
Just the consistency. Like I remember going on group rides and would make a wrong turn and everyone's doing tight U-turns and I wasn't at that level of doing a U-turn at low speed yet.
Right.
To get off the bike and turn it around myself, everyone was laughing.
Oh, bro, I remember those. I remember those days when we were going out for a massive ride, and then we're doing a U-turn. I just see you hop off the bike, and you're just. I remember that, man. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So apart from adjusting your suspension, cutting your seat. Is there any, and wearing maybe higher platform shoes, like is there anything else that you could think of to sort of overcome that short rider syndrome?
I wouldn't say there's mechanically, I can't think of anything else to add except it's more of a mental thing. So just find somewhere quiet and just practice. Like I remember when I got the 300, I had the bike in the garage and I just practiced because I couldn't get my leg over the bike like normal people. I had to lift my leg up and then like hop over the seat. And so I sat in the garage for about half an hour and just practiced swinging my leg over the bike.
Right.
And getting off the bike. So then when I'd go out, I wouldn't look like an idiot, you know. So just find somewhere quiet and just practice things like that, or practice taking off and stopping, so you get used to stopping with one foot if you can't get both feet on the ground like me.
Yeah. Chonny here has his own YouTube channel. I want you to check him out. What is it, Chonny?
So one short ass rider.
It's one short ass rider. Funny enough, huh? So he's got a YouTube channel on there. What type of content do you put out?
On the YouTube channel is mainly compilations of all the craziest moments I captured during group rides. It's a way for me and all the fam, friends, brothers, sisters to just reflect on the fun times.
Yeah, the fan. Cool. So check him out. I'll have the description down below. It's one short ass rider. Check him out on Instagram as well. And so guys, if you like this sort of content, you can help us out a lot. This is going to be a new series for me. If you like this sort of stuff, like and subscribe and comment down below and let us know what are your issues as a rider. And maybe I can sort of interview other people having those similar issues so you can get real-time feedback from people having exactly those problems that you're having. I think the biggest thing here that we talked about is experience. Experience and the, consistency of actually riding on the bike. Like, it's all mentality. You guys, I understand you guys are new riders. I understand that you might think you're a little bit worried or self-conscious about, how you may look when you're riding, if you're short, or how, if you drop your bike. But it all comes down to that mentality, right? The mentality of things. You were saying that no matter what bike you get on, no matter how big or tall you are, you're going to get used to it the way it is, right? You don't need to adjust anything because over time, you're going to get used to how it sits, you're going to get used to just using one leg, and it's just going to come second nature to you. So I think the biggest takeaway here is your mentality of being a short rider. You just need to sort of get over that fact that, you're a rider. You're not a short rider, you're a rider.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna add. Like, it doesn't matter if you're tall or short. Once you're both feet are on the pegs, you're riding. Everything from there is to do with skill level. The only difference being short is stopping the bike. That's the only thing that's gonna affect you.
Right.
When you're riding the bike, your height has got nothing to do with the bike.
I'm gonna add probably another thing is to try and just practice balance. For me personally, like I said, I'm on tippy toes when I'm on my bike, and I'm usually shifting over to one leg and balancing on one leg. The more you do that, the more muscle that you're going to gain out of that leg, and the more stable you're going to be throughout time. So it's all about just getting that mindset and throwing it away. Stop saying that you're a short rider because you're not. You're 5'5", you're 5'3", you're not 5'4", I guarantee you that. You got an issue?
Yeah.
What's your issue, bro?
How come I can't pick up any chicks when I'm riding?
Bro, the age-old question. We all buy a bike because we think it's a chick magnet. I tell you what, it is not. It is not a chick magnet. Yeah, it's a bro magnet, that's right.